Hi there, I'm Luke, welcome back to PhotoBite, and today we're checking out the Leica C-Lux. Let's get into it. So the Leica C-Lux is on the lower spectrum of Leica's lineup, the entry-level camera they brought in just before you go into their Deluxe. You would have seen this design somewhere else before because it's very similar to the Lumix TZ100 and 200 in terms of their design and specs. So you are looking at a 15x zoom, which is great. You can go from 24 all the way up to 360mm. There is a bit of a digital zoom, but it's not really something I see most people using. Inside you are rocking a 1-inch 20-megapixel sensor, which is CMOS, so that's always good to see. I'm liking the fact that they have gone with a slightly larger sensor, so they're not going anywhere near the smaller sensors that you tend to see in compact cameras. But with a price tag of £875, it's definitely not entry level for most people, but if you understand the Leica brand, they develop really good lens technology, so what you're getting here are perfectly crisp images all the way from the wides all the way to the close-ups. What you tend to see with other brands is they will be very good at close-up pictures or going wide, but the minute you go further away, then you start seeing some softness around the edges and the quality dips a bit as well. In the camera itself, you are looking at built-in 4K, so you do have 4K video up to 30 frames a second. They've also featured 4K video that you can then use to take stills out of it. Those stills will be about 8 megapixels. You've also got 10 frames a second in this, so if you're into your sports, this is definitely a good camera. From what we've seen, it's a perfect all-rounder for someone who wants the next level in image quality and lens quality, but doesn't want to go with a large camera that'll impact or get in the way when they're out shooting. So the viewfinder, you know, we do like it. It does the job. It is quite small though, so you are looking at a 0.53 magnification, so it's not massive when you compare it to the almost standard 0.70 that we're seeing in much larger cameras. However, like I said, they are much larger cameras, so having it in this, I mean, it would have been nice to see like a 0.65, make it a bit wider, but the quality isn't bad, and you know, it definitely gives you quite a good color accuracy, which in other reviews we've tested other cameras and they tend to be a bit off when you're comparing the pictures to what's in the viewfinder to what's on the screen itself. The aperture does also range from 3.3 to 6.3 when you zoom all the way in, so you know, it's a fairly standardized aperture, nothing crazy like a 2.8 or a 1.8, but you know, for what it is, it's good enough. You do also have 5-axis image stabilization, which is fantastic. You don't tend to see it on the wides, but the minute you zoom in, it really stabilizes the shot. When we were testing it out, I myself was waving it to the side and it was pretty much keeping it exactly where it needs to be. So if you're out shooting and you're trying to get close-ups of a building or maybe a bird or whatever else it might be, when you zoom in all the way, you won't be having to still yourself. You can actually hold it nice and comfortably and still get the shot you want, and it'll still be pin sharp as well. When it comes to control, you do actually have all your manual options. You've got manual, you have shutter priority, aperture priority, program. You've still got auto as well. You've got collage, scene, panoramic, and then a custom option. But then what's even interesting what's also interesting for myself as well is they have a dedicated film option that's manual. So you can actually take control when you're going into video. And when it does come to video, you do have 4K at 30 frames a second and at 25 frames a second. And then when you dip down into 1080, you can go from 24 up to 60p. So, you know, video for what it is very good. At the price tag you're looking at £875, you know, you would expect to see some nice features in there, and Leica have delivered. So when it comes to using it, you can actually use this ring around the front here, depending what mode you're in. So currently I'm in the video mode, so it's not doing anything at the moment. If you go into aperture priority, it now controls the aperture. And then when you move over into auto, dial that in, you can now see that it's actually used to control the zoom. And you can see it does extend out quite a fair amount, and then it rolls back in like so. So it is a very easy camera to use. One of the small issues you may come across, if I just turn it off quickly, is the buttons. They're not big, they're not massive, which is a bit of a problem. If people have big hands and big fingers, they're going to find pushing these buttons might be a bit tricky. They're also flat and flush up against the body, so they only protrude a little bit. Some are completely flush as well, so it's very hard to get a bit of feedback out of them. They do have some nice clicks, but they're not very obvious. You've got to really feel for them. But I mean, we're nitpicking here, so it's not a major thing. It's just something to bear in mind when you are looking to purchase this camera. So the kind of people I would see using it are the kind of people that are expecting optimal image quality and lens quality, and possibly someone who with a bit of a higher budget. Obviously you are paying Leica prices, but you're seeing Leica quality. What's also nice as well, they come in some very nice colors. So you've got light gold, and here we have the midnight blue. We do like the midnight blue. It would be nice to have a little play with the gold, but you know, we're not going to be funny about the colors. But overall, we're very impressed with what Leica have done. It's nice to see them offering something at a bit of a lower price point. I do understand that £875 for most people is quite a high price, but when we're talking about Leica that provide £5,000 cameras and up, it's nice to see them giving something to a more consumable market. So that's our review on the Leica C-Lux. If you guys have any questions, leave them down in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe. And as always, my name's Luke, this is PhotoBite, and we'll see you next time.